So, hello, everyone. Hi,
Hello.
Daniel. Hi, Uri.
Hi.
Hi,
Welcome.
Marcel. Hi, Daniel. Daniel, welcome to our show.
Thanks for having me, Uri and Masa. Nice to be here.
So, as always, we will start with the introduction, and we would like to introduce you. But as I already mentioned during the preparation, we failed a couple of times, so we decided to change the approach. And now we would like to ask you whether you could help us and
Okay.
maybe remove this struggle from our streams or the discussions and introduce yourself.
Okay. Yeah. I can do that for sure. First of all, thanks for having me today in your show. Yeah. Hi out there. For those who don't know me, my name is Daniel Knott. Based in Hamburg, or the northern part of Germany, and well, I don't know where to start basically, from what I have done so far. I mean, I'm in the software testing community for like almost 15, 16, or I don't know how many years now. I started my career basically as a computer scientist student a couple of years or decades ago, where I started computer science, and basically I fell into software testing. And I had the chance to start my career at IBM as a software student basically, and I had my first task over there in the testing industry. And then I followed my journey basically and my way into the community with like my first job in a company. First time met like-minded people who teach me really how to do software testing. Then I fell into mobile testing. So I'm a big fan of mobile testing. I wrote a book on mobile testing. I have a blog. I like to share things with the community out there. I love to be a speaker about testing and tech on various conferences. And since a couple of years, I moved a bit out of the like hands-on software testing part and went more into the management aspects. And I'm now a head of engineering at a company here in Germany, leading a department of like software engineers and hopefully soon as well software testers. And yeah, so that's a quick introduction about myself.
Okay, so are you still doing some like hands-on testing, or you are more now manager?
At the moment, it's I have like in my day-to-day life and career, I'm more a manager, but
Uh-huh.
I do some hands-on stuff in my private time, just like to keep connected with the community, trying out different tools, techniques, and staying up to date with trends in tech. Yeah.
Okay, and it also sounds a bit that you are drifting out from the testing into more generic IT topics, or
Mm, um, I don't see it like that. I mean, of course,
Mhm.
if you check, I don't know, LinkedIn or something like that, it says head of software engineering, but I think I see software testing as like one main part of how we do software development these days. I mean, doing software development without testing is not, it's not good. It's not a good idea, right? And now I have the chance to not only lead like a department of software engineers, but also like establish testing from an engineering point of view, because I have seen companies doing exactly the opposite thing, like having engineering managers who have no idea about testing saying, okay, let's get rid of testing. And, the developers can do the testing part. Of course, they can do some basic testing or the test that they should do in terms of like unit testing and these kind of topics. But like do like real proper testing, it's better to have it like in a team, in a company. And now I have the power basically to establish that. And that's what I really like about it.
It's something similar than in my case that also that I move like from the testing also to the engineering role or
Mm-hmm.
the head of engineering role. That I completely understood your point, and it's very important that yes, that's if somebody is the leading this whole
Yeah,
engineering team and to have like experience from the testing, it's a big benefit. But you
definitely.
mentioned a lot of things and stuff. Do you have maybe time for some, I don't know, some hobbies, or do you have some free time? Because like that, you are super busy. That you are speaking, you are doing like these great things, writing books, etc. That what you are doing during the free time.
Yeah, I mean, I have a family. I have two kids. I'm married, so I spend a lot of time with them as well. And for me, it's like really focusing on the side topics that I'm doing in my spare time. I usually like do like 1 or 2 days a week. I do something for the community, like for my blog, for. I mean, I have written the book. I mean, I have updated it. I think 2 years ago. I think 2 or 3 years ago, like in the second edition. So for now, there is not a task on that side for me as well. Like just like answering feedback or like giving advice to people if there people approach me. And but as I said, like 2 days a week, like in the afternoon or like in the late evenings, basically basically like once the kids are in bed, I sit down in front of my computer for like 2 to 3 hours again and do some content preparation, reading, writing, sharing knowledge and exchange with the community. And I like it and I love it. And for me, it's not like something that I'm not doing something else. I mean, for me, it's more like focusing on the things rather than the things that I liked, rather than like, I don't know, watching Netflix or I don't know, Amazon Prime or whatever is out there, right? So that's the way I see it. Yeah.
Okay,
I try
maybe
to keep it minimal. Yeah, but it's sometimes not easy.
maybe I would close this introduction section by one question, which could maybe open the hot seat section, and that's if we are talking about the testing. What is your most favorite activity in testing? Like like if you could choose only one thing you could do in testing for rest of your life, what that would be? Oh,
Is for me exploratory testing. I really love that, having the focus on certain aspects of an application, like using some mnemonics, heuristics to actually deep dive into functionality of a product is really what I enjoy. And it's also what I sometimes do when like working with other companies and they showcase me their products. They always would like to introduce me to their product and say, no, don't show me anything. Just give me access. I just would like to explore what I can do with it and see how I can use it and where, if I understand it. And that's what I really like and enjoy. And then to give feedback to the teams and to the developers, that's what I really enjoy.
cool. Okay, thank you. And now maybe Yura, it's your turn.
Yeah. It looks like the Daniel is ready for the hot seat, but
Yes,
I don't know today. This will be really like super hot seat because there are some fun, also options that we can start very easy, and it's
perfect.
Berlin or Munich.
Berlin.
Okay, iOS or Android.
Now iOS. Before it was Android.
Good point. Like football or ice hockey.
Football.
Okay, then I have like additional question: that Bayern Munich or Borussia Dortmund.
Neither of them.
I know. This is why I choose those two.
Okay, then I would say Bayern Munich.
Okay. Test automation or the manual testing?
Manual testing.
Okay. And then like traditional question that if AI will kill the testing industry.
No.
Okay. The most stupid testing idea of the year 2024.
Replacing testing with AI, what I have already seen somewhere. Yeah.
Good answer. But maybe from the opposite side, what is maybe the smart or clever like idea what you see this year?
Yeah, I mean, I would say now. I mean, AI is a hot topic, right? I mean, using it as a great toolbox for testers is really something really great, and that's what people should actually get into it and to use it in the best possible way to support their testing. Yeah.
And could you be more specific?
As an answer. More specific? Yeah, I mean, to get more information about a system under test, for example, if you have access to, if you can connect the AI system basically to your own system, to your own data set, to learn more about your system. On the other side, use it for like generating ideas, right? Generating testing ideas, generating test data ideas, and these kind of topics to really like use prompt engineering in a good way to additionally support your testing activities. Because sometimes if you're like long enough in a product or in a testing role, you have like blindsided, you do what you have to do, but AI gives you, at least me, gives you more additional insights into things that you can do.
And the last one, very easy. What is your favorite food?
Vietnamese.
Oh, not currywurst?
No, I'm vegetarian, really. So.
Okay. But the currywurst is vegetarian food, no?
You can get vegetarian options for sure, yeah.
But that's it. That we don't have like such a more like how to say stressful or hot question. That's I know that especially this Bayern Munich or Borussia like chooses was tough for you. I
Yeah,
understand, but
yeah,
now is probably the right time, to go deeper to the main part. And Marcel, maybe you can start.
Okay, so let's see whether I could have enough strong connectivity to go through
We
this.
will see. We will see.
We'll see. We'll see. So we would like to discuss mobile testing because you also mentioned that during your introduction, and I believe this is pretty interesting topic, and we didn't cover it yet with any other guests. And I would start maybe with the very stupid question: why did you decide to write a book nowadays when the TikTok is like the trendy stuff to follow, and
yeah,
everything is speeding up, and no one is reading
definitely.
books? You decide to write some. So this is
Yeah, I mean,
combination of these two,
mhm,
the mobile
absolutely,
and then.
absolutely. That you're completely right. I mean, the thing is, I never like was good at writing in school. I was more like on the like mathematics side of things, right? At least for me, it's like, okay, I have to do it, and I never enjoyed it. And but then when I went into mobile testing, I think it was late 2010 when I first had the task to get into mobile testing and to help the company that I was working in, like to establish the first iOS Android apps, to work on the things. And there was nothing out there. There was like plain white paper green field for me. There was literally no information from like Apple Android or back then BlackBerry or Windows phones, these kind of things.
Mhm.
It was really early stage. So it was really like trial and error for me back then. And that was also the reason why I started my blog, because I thought like, okay, you made so many mistakes in mobile testing and you were trying so many tools out there and they were not good. And I was like sharing this basically with someone. I never expected that someone would read it. And it took off a bit, to be honest, because that's why, I got invited to conferences talking about mobile testing. And I think already in 2011, I got the first time asked by a publisher, hey, do you would like to write a book about a topic? It's like, no, it's too early. It's outdated the moment I, send it over to the
Mhm.
to the printers basically. And I said, no, let's not do that. And I kept writing my blogs. For me, it was more like lean agile to write it there, to publish it out. But still, like people like were asking like, hey, there's so many great content on your blog. You have so many things to share. Why not writing the book? And it's like, no, I don't know. And because I was basically afraid of writing a book. It
Mhm.
takes some time to do that.
Yeah.
And so it was I think 2013, 14, I think early 14 was it. I was home alone on a Saturday and said, okay, let's give it a try. Like, I sat down, outlined the possible chapters of the book and to see if I can make it. And I told no one except my wife. Said, okay, I am going to write a book. And she was just laughing. It's like,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, another stupid idea. Let's see if we can make it, and I started. And I had this kind of, I was like really hooked to the topic. I was really focused. And so I wrote the book like in, I think more than 1 year, every day in the evening when I come back home from work, I sit down. I was doing some research and writing, getting feedback from the community, from some close testing friends. And, yeah, and then after like more than 1 year, I was like done with it, and I give it a shout out on LeanPub, send it over there for self-publishing because I had no direct access to a publisher. Then I contacted some people from the community, like Lisa Crispin helped me to get like a contact to a publisher, and they said yes, let's print the book. And then it was out basically. I was like, okay,
Mhm.
that's nice. And I got like lots of good feedback, but still, coming back to your initial question, like why writing a book instead of going into like TikTok or other stuff. I mean, back then, I think TikTok was even invented back then,
Mhm.
and not sure if it was there already in
Yeah,
2014,
it was
15. I
maybe
don't
an
think so.
extreme like idea,
Extreme,
but
yes,
even YouTube or some other
but
platforms, you
exactly. I
actually
didn't. I
finally end
never
up
thought
there.
about YouTube, to be honest. Yeah, I
Uh-huh.
mean that's the thing. I mean, I never thought about like making videos, because it was for me really early in the process of talking in front
Mhm.
of people, and then yeah, I never thought about it basically. But like moving fast forward to 2022, which then was the initial idea like of, hey, I was a bit like and it's not say bored, but I could see in the analytics data that people stopped reading blog posts, like longer ones, because of like maybe social media to blame, like, Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts, like the times then that people like really would like to consume something is like really going down, right? So I could see that. And then I thought, okay, another stupid idea between Christmas and New Year's. Let's try YouTube. That was my another idea that I had in 2022.
Okay.
And I just started, I mean, if you take a look at the very first videos, oh my God, they're like a bit disappointing and embarrassing. But I mean, you have to somewhere to start out, right? I mean, I had like a bad setup, no mic, no external mic, a really bad room setup. The feedback I got was like, oh, you have to change your voice and your setup and this kind of things. And yes, you have to start somewhere. And I was always like, okay, let's just do it, not to overthink everything. And yeah,
Okay.
and that's
Maybe-
how I moved from like writing more into video creation.
Cool. Maybe we will come to that video creation soon, but let's stay
maybe.
with the book still. So if I would be interested in the book and ask you what are the maybe most powerful or most attractive parts of the book, what you would maybe let's start from the beginning. What is the book about? What are the topics you covered? And maybe where did you get the strongest feedback in terms of this is really awesome? Or another related question, maybe I'm throwing too many questions on you now, but what about this like quick evolution of all these mobile phones and everything? Could you still stay relevant with reading that book when all that crazy stuff is going on out there last 10 years?
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, that's the very fair question. And that was also the initial idea when I was writing the book. I mainly focused on the two big players, iOS and Android, in the book, even though like there was some Microsoft phones still available, but like, distributions were pretty low. And so I decided to stick with that. And the idea was, I mean, the book is called Hands-on Mobile App Testing. And for me, it was like to have like a complete overview of the topic. What is it all about? It gives like a bit of introduction in the very beginning, like where the mobile space is coming from, like what was the first phone and the evolution of the mobile data networks and how they impact the testing activities. And I think the most impactful thing also from the feedback that I got is like the overview of the mobile testing activities that one can perform on a mobile device is really strong. I mean, it's not just like, sitting in front of a small screen and doing some tapping and entering some data, but it's more like the whole ecosystem around it, like the packed sensors, that the hardware has a really high impact on the product that you would like to test. I mean, I usually have that example that once we had an app that we were building and we had like an image upload. And for one specific Android device, the image was always 90 degrees rotated. And what's going on? We were checking the statistics. We got feedback about it. We got bad ratings about that. And I had that phone on my desk and I couldn't reproduce it. And then I had the chance to talk to that customer. And I was able to phone this person. Then we were like, really like, okay, what's the difference between those two phones? And then we found out that he had a different camera installed, like from a hardware point of view, in his mobile device. So the device manufacturer, like maybe like 1 week later, they used different camera lenses, and that impacted, for example, the testing activities, right? And these kind of topics in the book I think, is the most powerful thing. And I have written that in a more generic way that it's also valuable for like for years, because it's I would say the foundations of mobile testing. Yeah. And coming back to your second question, keeping up relevant. I mean, that's definitely something that I would like to do again, like to update the book. I mean, I have a second edition out already. And what is a bit tricky in the book, I think I also stated in one of the chapters, is like the test automation part, because the tools that I mentioned inside the book, I mean, they're like there's Appium and other tools in the book which are still relevant for mobile. But there are also tools, I think, in there who are like not there anymore, or not the best tools available. But I stated in the book, like, hey, please, in case you are selecting your test automation framework, please do your own research. Use that as a basic. As a basis, and also like foundation, like what to automate, where to automate. It's not only to automate on the mobile app itself, but you could also like check the APIs. You can check the backend, which has a huge impact on the automation or the mobile app itself. So this is something that I give in the book, and then people, they have to do their own research. So you cannot get the book and lean back saying, I read it and then I'm good, I'm fine, I have nothing to do, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
I have a couple of more specific questions regarding to mobile testing. And maybe I'll start with this. You mentioned test automation. You said you need to do your research to find the relevant tool for you. But it feels, or I could see that the area of mobile app test automation is still pretty immature or immature. So what's your view on this? Could you maybe mention maybe 3 tools which pops us as a first? I don't want to ask about the best or top tools, but maybe just give us very quickly 3 which you come to your mind when I would ask how or which tools I should maybe try. Could you tell some tools apart from Appium, because Appium is probably obvious first item on the list, or at least I would take it as a first one. Maybe it's the market.
Definitely.
Maybe market already changed.
I mean, many companies are using Appium as a foundation of their services to build on top of that, right? So that's you could say it's the selenium of mobile, right? So to say, it's like I would not say it's the de facto standard, but they have done a lot of things in a right way, and also things that were not so good, to be honest. I mean, there have been other tools out there. I mean, I was a big fan back in the days of Robotium. It's not there anymore, right? And it was for Android, but it was really great tool. Super close to the developers and super easy to use and to write robust automation back then. Nowadays, a tool that I really like is Maestro. Maybe you have heard about it. Maestro. It's a fairly simple to use tool.
Yeah.
Sorry?
I saw it. It looks pretty nice. I don't have like a practical experience.
It looks pretty nice because what I have seen, especially when using Appium is really, it's a pain in the ass to install and to set up and to configure. It's not easy, and usually when I decide or like to recommend people to pick a tool, it's similar to like, you open your toolbox and you get out your hammer and you have your hammer right away, you can use it. And it's the same thing for a tool. A tool should be that easy as well for developers and for testers. I hate it when I have to configure a tool for days, or I have to write scripts and change something here and there and, to set it up. And Maestro is, I think it's installed in 10 seconds, for example, and you can just write and start your automation. It has some other drawbacks from like getting deeper into building up your own framework and these kind of topics. But from a test end user perspective, that's the way to go, right? So that's a really good tool. And other than that, what I really like are the developer tools like Espresso or XUI test on Android iOS side, because they're really close to the source code. And you can really like do some activities testing on from the UI level, but they're really close to developers, really fast in execution. And that's also something that I would recommend to take a look at. And then usually on mobile, as I said before, it's like you have basically the 3 layers that you have to check: the app itself, the APIs, and then also the backend. And there you have to have a mix of tools to combine together to find your best solution.
That we start with the tools, but I have like some additional question regarding this. What is your opinion maybe regarding, that if to automate and run the tests on the real devices, or to build some farm, or to use some cloud, solution of the real devices, because this is like big topic that some, companies are considering security, etc. What is the best approach from your perspective?
The best approach is doing it on a physical device in your office, to be honest. But I mean, that's the most complex one,
That sounds very
I'm surprised now.
No, I'm not against like cloud devices or anything like that. I mean, they're doing really great job here. Like you know, the brands out there, you can connect your virtual devices. I call it virtual device, virtual real devices in a cloud to your computer system. But you still, I mean, maybe it was also like in the years before when I was using some of those, there was always like this latency in the network connection. You know, you always have like, it doesn't feel like, it's like you're having the device on your screen, on your desk, for example, right? I mean, we used it as well. I mean, we used it for test automation, running the tests, the nightly builds on those devices. It was fine, but still sometimes we had issues with like latency or, preparation of the devices and these kind of topics. And a couple of years ago, we built our own internal device cloud for the company I was working with, because we were struggling with the vendors out there at this time. But this was also like painful as well, because you have to set up the devices, keep them up and running, check that they are like in a correct state. Have to write a lot of scripts to prepare the devices and these kind of topics. So that's the biggest benefit of when you choose to go to like the cloud providers, right? You usually have like a web interface, or you can configure them via an API. That's super easy, super convenient. But again, you have to see how it can be used for you in your company, and also specifically for your product. But companies should not completely rely on test automation on mobile apps. They should really get a real device, give it to someone like a tester, crowd testers, whoever can use or is used the product in the end, and to go out in the wild, to test it where the product is being used. Because I also have seen so many companies struggling with exactly that, because they were just testing in an office environment, strong Wi-Fi, perfect conditions. But then, they moved out, and especially in Germany, we have not the best mobile network. So you have like some really bad network
Really?
connections in some places. Yeah, we are like third world when it comes to mobile data network. I mean,
it's everywhere, I
and
would say.
so that, yeah, at least in Europe maybe. But that's a topic. If you're sending lots of data to your backend, and like request response is taking more time, what happens to the product? And these kind of topics are really important to cover.
This is pretty surprising for me, because I keep asking this question I asked now about the cloud versus like on-prem or own farm to build. And there are much more people answering in a way that we would like to build it our own, because we do not have very good experience with that, which is I don't know why that it's happening. But I would say maybe it's half or 40 to 60% between those who decided to go fully to some vendor providers and cloud, and who build it in-house, which
I
is
mean,
interesting. So anyhow,
I
let's
think
move on
it really
maybe
depends
further.
on your product.
Yeah. Maybe move on from that into some other topic related to mobile app testing. I heard something which maybe I would like to discuss with you, and it's nowadays there is this new modern web development where you build your app, which is actually web, but it's deployed into mobile as a web. It behaves like mobile app, but it's web app. And some people are saying that this also affect how we will test it, that maybe we will not need to automate anymore the native apps, because they will become just wrapper around some web app. How do you see this move? Is it this era already over, or it's coming, or could this even happen?
I mean, I think it's still is a relevant question that companies have to ask themselves, what they would like to achieve with their product. I mean, if you are like, let's say, you are creating an app that is like out there, let's say for half a year only, promoting events, or I don't know, it's like really on a short-term notice, right? Then I would say like, use like Flutter, for example, build it once, run it on all the platforms, for example. That's definitely something that, because it's cost effective, it's faster in writing, and maybe also in, depending on testing, depends on like what's the demand, and what's the framework all about, and what's the devices to cover. But if you're like really aiming for long-term product, I would always say, okay, go full native, because then you have the full possibility to actually have access to physical hardware access of the device. Yeah, because not sure what if Flutter, for example, supports all hardware aspects of a mobile device, all the sensors built in and all this kind of topic. And also sometimes you don't have this native feeling, especially if you like have different patterns maybe in the apps, right? You have different ways of interacting. Android versus iOS is different. It's a different concept of using your product, right? And this is something that the companies have to decide. No matter, however, if you are like use like tools like Flutter or others, and you build like on one code base and you build it for multiple platforms, the testing effort is still the same, you know, on each platform, because you have to make sure that everything runs smoothly on iOS and Android in your target audience group for the target devices, because otherwise you miss out important topics.
Okay, I see. So what other trends we could see, or we should maybe focus on or follow in the mobile app testing? Is there something special coming in, or?
No, to be honest, no. I mean, there's now with all the AI topic again. I mean, it's already like it's boring to talk about almost, because everybody's talking about AI. But now, like, see that like the big platforms like Android and iOS, like integrating AI products as well in the operating systems. So this might be something to see how it affects testing as well. But otherwise, I mean, there are like no big disruptions happening right now in the mobile space. I mean,
what about the wearables like a watch or these visions?
It's definitely something.
VR, AR, and
Apple
all
Vision
this.
Pro, I don't know. It's too early. Like VR, AR is still is definitely a topic, but I think it doesn't have this like broad like disruption like mobile devices. I mean, I look around. I mean, almost every I mean excluding kids, but you know, from let's say from 14 years still to 80 years, you have people using mobile devices, right? So you have like a huge amount of people using those devices, and I think the biggest revolution happened when Apple introduced the iPhone, and then of course there was some small evolution happening around. You have now devices or like wearables, like I don't know, smartwatches and other things that are connected as companion apps to the smart devices or to the smartphones. This poses some more challenges for testing, especially if you like have to set up the device via Bluetooth and these kind of topics. But it's not too complicated, I would say. Right.
Is this something like if I master my skills around mobile testing, is there any synergy that I could use it for maybe wearable testing or some, I don't know, other devices like TV testing, because I know that there are some softwares which are in TVs. Is that similar topic, or you don't consider it as a because this is like a non-standard software, I would say, on strange screens usually, which is
definitely. I mean,
small mobile or huge TV screen. No UI like keyboard and mouse. So
it kind of, you know, it's those devices that you just mentioned, like TVs or like watches or other wearables, like also speakers, like smart speakers. They rely on different hardware, and this is something that you can transfer from mobile testing as well into those testing devices, because they rely on different hardware and they can be used in different environments. So that's something, and they have different controls. As you just said, on a TV you have a remote control, so you have to be sure that you can use the navigation with the remote or with your voice. So this poses some additional challenges, and for smart devices like smart watches or like every like health bands and these kind of topics is also something that's for me similar, or like you can really transfer from mobile testing to those areas, because you have to go out and test it somewhere else than at home. So in all kinds of different scenarios. I mean, also I'm wearing a sports watch over here, so you have to do some exercises to test what you're doing, like having sweaty fingers, sunlight, darkness, cold. I don't know what can happen while doing your exercises, while swimming, for example. What's going to happen with the interfaces? So these activities can be transferred also from mobile testing, definitely.
In the past, there was like idea that that we may be splitting the tester, that those are the backend tester, those are
Mm-hmm.
front end tester, and they are like mobile app testers. And then I heard also some like opinions that it's that mobile app and front end is like the same bunch, and they need to learn also this mobile app. How you see it's like special domain, and we need to to have some special mobile app testers, or is part of the front end testing, because as Marcel also asked this question that PWAs are coming, etc., that is something similar. That how you see this?
Mm-hmm. It's definitely another front end type of testing. Like you have a web front end, you have a mobile front end, and I would say like the foundations of software testing, they're all the same. So they doesn't matter if it's a mobile app, a web app, a backend application, an API. So if you know the foundations of software testing, how to make your test design, your test activities, that's the same. But then we have the specialty of physical devices again. So that's the topic. And that's something that you have to that you have to know about. I mean, I talk to so many people on conferences, on meetups, like they ask me the same question, like what's special about mobile testing? I said, okay, mobile testing is software testing in the first place. But then when it comes to the real devices, that's where the magic is happening, because you have to make sure to be able that your software is running on different screen sizes, different CPU powers, and these kind of topics. And this poses additional challenges. And that's something that you have to have in your mindset, in your toolbox, in your knowledge as well. Definitely. So I would say it's nothing that you can learn, but you have to be aware of it. That's important.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I will have last question to this topic about mobile testing, and then let's move on to the next one. Could you maybe give us some recommendation apart from your book where we could or we should learn if we are interested in the topic of mobile testing?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of YouTube channels out there who cover mobile testing topics. I don't have them now in my head. I maybe can share them later on. So we have them maybe in the video description or so, or the show notes. And there's something that you can do. I mean, there's like lots of stuff happening on Udemy, for example, like courses that you can book. At the Ministry of Testing community, there's like great sources of information about mobile testing. So these are like community projects that you can go to and learn about it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So if you could share some links with us, then we would add it to description of the video.
Perfect.
That would be great. So maybe we
No
could
problem.
also share with others. Okay, let's move on to the last topic, and that's software testing by Daniel Knott. What's that?
Yeah, I mean, I gave a little spoiler before. I mean, that's my latest project is my YouTube channel. As I just said before, 2022, I had this stupid idea of like, hey, let's do YouTube. Let's try it out, because I was kind of was bored of writing. And I mean, I'm not bored about writing. Maybe that's too hard to say, but I could see in analytics, as I just said before, it's like that people are like, the trend was more going into video, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. YouTube was a big topic, or is still a big topic. And I was in the moment of like, hey, let's learn something new. I was never doing any video editing and these kind of topics, so I would like to learn about it. And that was the reason why I said, okay, let's give it a try. And I love it. I like it. I mean, the channel is growing really nice, and I get great feedback on the topic. So that's what I do right now with my focus for the community at the moment.
Cool. I have a quick hot seat question again. Is it your future full-time job? Yes or no?
I don't think so. And then right now I would say no. Right now I would say no. But never say never.
Okay, we have a couple of more topics to cover here. One would be, we would be interested, what is your maybe most favorite topic you record videos about, and why?
It's again AI. I mean, at least what I see from the feedback that I got from the people, and also from the view counters. I mean, you can see that also on the channel as well. Like, I think there are a couple of videos on AI that like skyrocketing, a couple of 100,000 views already on some of the videos. So that's definitely a hot topic. And the funny thing is that I can see is that like the more technical topics getting more views than like the more generic software testing topics. but because maybe it has been already told on so many other channels on like it's old stuff, basics things. But still, I try to cover like also basic topics in testing, because I think that people, they do their research, they start with testing, they fell into testing and they need some advice. So that's why I cover like a wide variety of topics. But AI is a big topic at the moment, definitely.
And where do you go for your new ideas? What to talk about? How do you search for that? Do you have some trick?
I asked the community. I mean, I asked the community, of course, not only on my YouTube channel, but also on different like forums, like Ministry of Testing, Twitter, LinkedIn. I read a lot of stuff. I read other blogs, like and see what people are talking about, like what's vibrant right now in the community. And I have a long list of upcoming videos that I could record. I mean, I think next year's I could almost like tick it out and say, okay, 2025 topics are done. And so there's a lot of stuff to cover. So that's pretty amazing.
And, do you have a plan maybe to write a new book, or only to focus on your YouTube channel and social media, or?
Oh no, I don't think that I'm going to write any book anytime soon, because I mean, this takes so much more time.
Now ChatGPT will write you completely in 5
I did
seconds.
it. I did also an experiment on my YouTube channel. I wrote a complete testing book, I think in 2 hours with ChatGPT. You can get it on LeanPub for free, of course. I don't want to make any money with it. There's also a huge disclaimer on top of it. It's like, hey, this is generated. I don't know. Maybe I could think of like maybe a cross collaboration with other authors and stuff like that, maybe to contribute to some chapters to a book. But the whole process was, it was really painful. And now I have, before that I had no kids. Now I have kids, and it's like, I don't want to spend even every day writing a book. And no, that's for me right now. It's not on the list. I would rather focus on video right now, and to see like how long this trend is going to continue. How long people will still would like to watch me, give me good feedback, and if they say, "Come on, Daniel, stop it, it's all set," then I also have no problem saying, "Okay, I'll stop it."
Now
That was also always my motivation. To get feedback from the community. When I started my blog, I got good feedback, so I kept continue. And now it's same with video. Who knows what's next in 5 years? Which trend is coming out? I don't know.
Cool. I get that we cover all the topics, but we have many more. But we don't have like enough time. That maybe we can move to the last section. That is some promotion. That now is time maybe that you can promote something or somebody, or praise, or to say something in the end. That's, I don't know, if you are going to speak somewhere, or it's up to you.
Nothing to advertise. I mean, what I usually tell to people actually is like, really, if you have questions or anything like that, feel free to drop me a message on, I don't know, LinkedIn, or you can find my email address on my blog as well. I love to help people and to support in any kind of questions. Bear with me. Sometimes it takes a bit longer than I'm in replying to messages, but that's what I like to do and what I really offer to people. And I can just say that it's really cool to be part of the testing community, because no matter where I am, being it on Meetup, being at a conference, you always meet like-minded people, open-minded people who would like to share knowledge about the topic, and that's what I really like and enjoy. And that's what I would like to say thank you about it. So everyone who's in the testing community, feel free and open to share your thoughts. Don't be too afraid to start your own blog. Just do it, share it. That's the good thing.
Great. And Marcel, do you have also something to advertise from your side? Because usually if I ask this question to Marcel, then Marcel's answer is that probably not. That I hope that you have something today.
I don't, unfortunately, but I could maybe.
I'm surprised.
Enjoy summer and all these travels.
That's good. Good idea.
And looking forward to meet you somewhere in person during autumn. There will be plenty of conferences out there, so hopefully we will meet in person.
That's true. Yeah, let's stay connected on that topic as well. Definitely.
Yeah, the autumn is coming. That many conferences are coming.
Oh
It will be possible
usually
to see you guys.
a hot month. or like a hot season. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, right. That's great. Thank you very much. Thank
Perfect.
you, Daniel, for
Thank
your
you.
time. This was great discussion and also
Thanks
very
for
good
having me.
insight. I guess that you also shared very good ideas and solution also for our fans and followers. That's great. Thank you very much for your time, and
You're welcome.
I hope that see you soon in person.
That would be great. Have a great
Yeah.
day. Thank you for having me. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you.